Hey guys, welcome to this video. Just a quick update on things that are going on my channel before we get into what I'm going to talk about here. My laptop just decided to die on me. I had that thing for 6 years and I got it in prep for the work we were doing on the marketing for Jurassic World. And so it's seen me through the marketing of Jurassic World, the marketing of Fallen Kingdom, a great majority of Dino Defenders Extreme. And, I know it's just an inanimate object, but I owe a lot of thanks to that little computer for not messing up or breaking for the course of 6 years. But the other day, it sadly passed away. It just stopped working. It got the black screen of death. It didn't want to register the display. The battery was like, it all deformed, according to the people who I showed it to at the Apple store. So I was just like, you know what? I think it's time to retire that laptop and move on. So I will be looking for some other means of streaming. I use this computer, which I'm making this video off now, mainly for streaming, but for some reason I'm having a bit of technical issues streaming or watching the live stream back with live chat and stuff on the same computer that I'm streaming from. So there's a few technicalities I still have to work out, but look forward to more live streams and that coming soon in the near future once I get that sorted. However, today, I figured I would talk about a subject that I haven't seen any other Jurassic fans talk about in great detail. So maybe this is a conversation that has happened online elsewhere and I just haven't discovered it. But I figured I would talk about the naming of locations in each Jurassic film. And I brought this up a couple of weeks ago with a group of other Jurassic fans in this group that we have, this chat group. And other fans like Jurassic Collectibles was in there and Clayton. We were all discussing this and we all came to the same conclusion, which I will get to towards the end. But if you don't know why the text comes up in Jurassic Park, this might be a bit confusing if you don't know the reason why, because it confused me when I didn't think about it. So we'll go through what each one says and then we'll go into detail a little bit more. So as we can see here, and I've got it sort of roughly on the screen here, so I'm sort of just making this up as I go along. So I've just like grabbed a picture. We'll go through it like this. So Jurassic Park first says Isla Nublar, 120 miles west of Costa Rica, and then the next scene it says Mano de Dios, Amber Mine, Dominican Republic, and then it says Badlands near Snakewater, Montana. Snakewater, Montana, yeah. And then the last one we see is San Jose, Costa Rica, and then the rest of the film is set on Isla Nublar. The second film, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, just says Isla Sorna, 87 miles southwest of Isla Nublar. So you can see there's 4 times it was mentioned in the first one and once in The Lost World. Now Jurassic Park 3 says Isla Sorna, 207 miles west of Costa Rica, and then it says later on Fort Peck Lake, Montana. So there's 2 random ones. They all seem to start with the island, but then Jurassic World throws a curveball and it only has one Santa Maria Airport, Costa Rica. I think that's how you pronounce that. It doesn't mention the island, it doesn't mention anything else. That's the only time that a text comes up at the bottom. And for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, the latest film in the series as I record this, it says Isla Nublar, 120 miles west of Costa Rica, and Lockwood Estate, Northern California. So now if I just can zoom this out, because we don't need to really read those anymore up close, and I can continue the video on with them zoomed out. So yeah, I was looking at this not too long ago, this layout of location naming, and I was like, why is it so sporadical? I'd never really questioned this before, so I didn't really take into account the reason behind it. But so I looked at this and I looked at the lay of the land. The Jurassic Park has 4 naming of locations. The second one 1. Jurassic Park 3 has 2. Jurassic World has 1, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom has 2. And I couldn't, for the life of me, figure out why they were just randomly naming locations. Like The Lost World, there's so many other locations they go to before getting to Isla Sorna again, including like New York, which is where Hammond's estate is, and we know it's New York from the subway that Ian Malcolm sat on. There's when he's talking to the Curious Man character, the whole "you're him, right?" there's a poster behind the guy who's talking to Malcolm, and it shows the New York subway map. So the Hammond estate is assumed to be in New York. But we also go to like Eddie's garage, which has, or Eddie's workshop, which a lot of people seem to assume is in San Diego, and I do too, because of the whole like you have to ship those vehicles to to Isla Sorna. So it probably makes sense that they were doing that on the coast of on the west coast of America. But that said, I don't know if there's any way of I don't know, recognising the location from when Nick Van Owen comes in with his van. And I know the doors are open. Let me just look that up quickly. Okay, so I've got it here. I just popped it up. No, you can't really tell where they are from this shot, unless there's a shot of the number plate. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go dig deeper. So let me let me find that now. Okay, so I've got it here, but oh my word, I think I may have just discovered something. Let's zoom in. That is a New York number plate. Right there, New York. I don't know if you guys can see this as clearly as I am. Let me zoom in even further. Let's do some digging. Detective work. So that's a New York number plate, New York, right there. So maybe actually Eddie's workshop is not on the West Coast. I was wrong. And it's actually on the East Coast. So maybe they had to ship the the trailers and the Mercedes over to the West Coast and then boat them to Sorna. So actually, there is actually ways of locating where they are there. But anyway, let me remove that from the scene. So anyway, so there's many locations at the beginning of the Lost World, but they only name Isla Sorna. Now in Jurassic Park 3, as we see, there's like Grant goes to Ellie's house. We see the talk with the I guess it's the students in Jurassic Park 3 when Grant is giving his lecture. But they don't name those locations. They do name Fort Peck Lake, Montana. They also don't name the bar as well. You know, that the Kirbys take Grant and Billy to. And obviously Jurassic World, you have like the Mitchell house, you have where the boat picks the boys up, all that sort of stuff, before the airport, should I say. And obviously in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, you have like the DPG offices, and you have Owen's cabin and all that sort of stuff. But the reason they don't name those other locations is because these locations that they do name, one could... the going theory amongst the fans and myself, which we discussed, is these are shots which for the I don't know, the person who's not quite concentrating, they could be mistaken for being on the island if they didn't name them. So they're very tropical locations, as you can see. The first film, you have Gennaro going down this river, you have the guys digging up the dinosaur bones out in the desert area. You have Costa Rica with like the palm trees and stuff. And the other locations that they don't name, you wouldn't necessarily mistake for being on the island. So obviously the Fort Peck Lake, Montana, you know, kind of looks like it could be on an island. The plane landing, that's an obvious one from Jurassic World. So like the boys leave for the airport and it shows a shot of the plane landing, but there's no like high-rise buildings or anything in the background. It just shows trees. So one could easily mistake that straight away for it being on Isla Nublar, but when it says where it is, then it's giving you a geographical location of where the boys actually go to pick up the ferry to go to Isla Nublar. And the same for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. We enter the island, but we don't you know, need explanation for like Owen's cabin, because you can see massive snowy mountains in the distance and how wide and expansive that whole area is. And the DPG shows like a running city, like where the DPG offices are. But it is interesting to note that the only one that doesn't name the island is Jurassic World, and that's because the whole build-up is going to the island, and we don't start the film, although they do with the Indominus egg. So, but then again, that was a laboratory, so I don't know why they didn't name that one. But that okay. So the theory for these location namings is as follows, as I just mentioned. And the reason for this video is, if you don't know why they name them, it's, as far as we can tell, it's down to these might be locations that could be mistaken for being on the islands, Isla Sorna, Isla Nublar, whatever it may be. But looking at this, one's like the San Jose in Costa Rica, where there's like a full cafe and stuff. It's like, would anyone really mistake that for being on the island? If you took all these names out of the movie, I think the only one which could be misconstrued as being on the island, if you were watching the film, obviously you've got the actual island shot, so like the first three, all the first ones in Jurassic Park, Lost World, Jurassic Park 3 and Fallen Kingdom, they're all actually on the island. But the only one I can think of that might actually cause some confusion would actually be the amber mine in the original film. That's the only one I can think of, because mainly because they don't mention where that is with any like background stuff. I mean, Lockwood Manor you couldn't really mistake, because later on in the film, obviously the boat takes them from the island to the house, so like by that point in the film you'd be like, oh okay, so that's not on the island. And obviously Claire drives there, and we see that the island's got the volcano at the beginning and stuff like that, so yeah, that can't be confused. So the only one I would actually state that would be actually quite confusing if you didn't think about it too much would be the amber mine scene. But the rest of them, you don't really need to name them, aside from obviously the actual island ones, what I mentioned before. But anyway guys, that is my little random video for today. I hope you've enjoyed this. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below, and I will leave you on this with Jurassic World Dominion coming out next year, and the idea that the dinosaurs have gone global. It's going to be interesting whether they name any locations or if they name all of the locations. I don't know. I know some people out there might think I might know. I have no idea. This all happens in editing. But yes, so there you go. That is my random video on the strange location naming in each of the Jurassic movies. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please like, share, subscribe, do all that sort of nonsense, and I hope you guys have a really good day. Bye bye.